Yep, thank you very much. Yes, the Tombola is a terrific game. Do go over there and win yourself something. Now, we've heard quite a lot today about various bits and pieces, and I will endeavour not to repeat what's already been discussed. But the thing that's motivating me to be here today and to stand for Labour, I've got through 60 years of my life without standing for an election, although I've had my arm twisted a few times. This is the first time I've declared to do it, and the reason because that is because the NHS is so important to me. And just a little bit of background: my grandparents died in the 1940s before the NHS was set up. They died because they couldn't afford insulin. And from there, we've had a beautiful service that's been built up. I survived polio in the 1950s, and if it wasn't for the health service then, I know I wouldn't have survived that. I've got 4 children, and all 4 of them have made great use of the health services over the years. 2 of them certainly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the great work of Poole Hospital and the great work of Southampton Hospital. So hats off to everybody who works in them. I know we all want to defend it, that's why we're here, and we want to do things that make sure the government understands, whichever government it is, that we want this to maintain. And one of the things that has been interesting, and I've been thinking about it whilst we've been talking, particularly the Save Our Beds campaign, which I think is an extremely interesting example of people coming together, and that they've put away their political badges, and full praise to them for doing that. I'm afraid I'm going to waive my political badge now, because I do believe that the Labour Party and the Green Party are the only people that are really going to stand up for the NHS, and we need to make sure that the votes go through. One of the things that's happened in Dorset County Council is that they've got 4 committees that have been feeding in to the NHS debate, and they have just nodded through every single decision that's been put for them. There was opportunities there for them to say, we don't want these cuts, we don't want this transformation, trash, slash and burn, or whatever is going on. We don't want it. And 31 counties and councils in the country have stood up and said, we will not accept these changes. Dorset isn't one of them, and that's why I want to stand and represent the people of Wimborne and East Dorset, West Colehill, and perhaps give a different perspective to some of these points. I was also particularly interested that I've often thought the NHS should not be a political football, and I think most of us would agree that it shouldn't be. The thing that worries me is that we still haven't got a sustained system of keeping it going. I know Tony Blair did a lot of things wrong, but he did put the money into the NHS, and we did see lots of improvements. And you cannot run a service like that without a firm commitment that the money does have to increase each year. In fact, I found myself almost agreeing with Anne Widdecombe the other day, which was a bit of a shock. But she was saying, you know, the world has changed so much since the NHS was set up. There's more treatments available, there's more of us, and thankfully we do live longer. And we need to look at how it is funded. And I would propose that the best way to do that would be to have not only a Labour government, but also to have a Royal Commission that begins to take it completely away from politics so that it can be set up, run and managed without any further political interference, and that its funding has got a firm foundation. So that's what I would propose, and I'd like to do that. The only other thing I wanted to say about politics, really, is the great Lee Scratch Perry once said something, and I think it sums it up quite a lot of the time. Polly, if you break the word down, politics, poly means lots of, ticks means bloodsuckers. So we've got to change things, haven't we? Please vote for me if you live in Wimborne or Colehill West, and thank you once again to all our NHS colleagues for the brilliant work they do. Cheers.